There is no useless experience, as read by the author. Lesson 15. Social media is a double-edged sword. Learning when to use and when not to use it makes a world of difference. International Print Media reported on June 1st, 2019, that the American embassies worldwide would start asking visa applicants to submit their social media names and 5 years' worth of email addresses and phone numbers, along with their other applications. It was about time. More often than not, social media reveals who we truly are and what we are thinking, and one can pinpoint with accuracy the character of someone solely based on their social media profile and engagements therein. I have had 4 major social media gaffes and splashes. Let me tell you about them one by one. As mentioned in an earlier chapter, the first time I ever trended was in 2013. It was shortly after the Slim Possible finale. I had proposed to my wife and was on a high of getting engaged under a national spotlight. Little did I know that this spotlight was going to very quickly be focused on my skeletons. My scorned ex-girlfriend, enraged from watching my engagement on live TV, had engaged the services of a lethal blogger who had wasted no time employing his keyboard ninja tactics in suggesting that I had proposed to my wife while married to my ex and had beaten her prior to the finale. That story spread like bushfire, garnering ground and seeing me featured on the front page of the Nairobian, Pulse, Publication and Gossip columns in mainstream newspapers. The story was also on headline acts in numerous gutter publications and sites. I got on Facebook and wrote a post answering the allegations. I even inboxed this blogger with proof to the contrary, but it was too late. The trending story was a fake one, and no amount of truth-telling was catching up with that lie. People really trolled me, with some even adding all manner of falsehoods and telling my fiancé then to run for the hills from this batterer. For every post I wrote trying to debunk it, I got hundreds of vicious replies. It was terrible. The lies were so bad that even when the case was thrown out eventually, the facts about the story getting thrown out never trended like the initial lies. I learnt my first valuable and, might I, hard lesson on social media interactions. Sometimes, answering the critics on social media is like adding fuel to the fire. It simply doesn't help. There are people out there whose only aim is to tell a lie to get a following, and others whose objective in life is to consume and spread propaganda. Eventually, though, the truth does stand, even if it doesn't have an audience. Those who truly seek the truth have no problem finding it, even if it is hidden under a pile of rubbish. So sometimes, don't seek to over-explain anything. Just be silent and relax. The truth shall surface in due course. The second time I trended was over a tweet I didn't think would ever go anywhere. It was on the 10th of August 2015. Rwandan President Paul Kagame had tweeted to his legal team about being pleased that they had won a case removing the legal hurdle about term limits in his country. I happened to be online when he tweeted, and I suspect I may have been one of the very first people to reply to it. I wrote, "I really hope, sir, you will not ruin your legacy by becoming president for life." I must have really gotten under his skin because he tweeted back immediately saying, "Worry more about your own legacy, if you have any to worry about." I honestly didn't see his reply. In fact, after my tweet, I got into a North Rift matatu as I was traveling to Eldoret to visit my mom. I didn't actually get on the internet until the following day. By that time, both tweets had gone viral, and angered Kenyans had even started a hashtag called Someone Tell Kagame. When I eventually switched on my phone, the notifications kept pinging for about 15 minutes or so, and even as I started reading them, more tweets kept dropping in. I was horrified, to say the least. In the days following my tweet, I received accolades and threats in almost equal measure. I quickly tweeted a clarification that I hadn't intended for the Rwandan leader to get such a backlash, but it was too late. The initial tweet and his reply had spread like bushfire and had been picked up by international outlets and even big boys like BBC Africa, CNBC, and even CNN, who called for an interview to get my opinion. I declined them all, including the local TV stations. In the eyes of all and sundry, I had patronized a president of an African country. Some people felt I should apologize, and I couldn't see what for. Others told me some gory stories of what was likely to be the consequences of my tweet that petrified me so much that I asked my brother to walk with me for almost a month in the streets of Nairobi. It was a simple, well-meant tweet in my view, but it had far-reaching consequences. There are tales of me being a persona non grata in Rwanda to date. I haven't ventured to the land of 1,000 hills to put them to test. I learned one important lesson though. There are no such things as simple tweets or posts on social media. You must review everything you write and be sure that it's what you can stand by. So with that in mind, speak your mind and stand on your truth, regardless of whatever consequences it might present you. That time was in 2016. I trended because of that businessman come politician from Eldoret who had tried to seduce my wife and then maligned my name and tried to render me jobless after the fact. He wrote a post on Facebook after he was contacted by the Nairobian, a Kenyan publication that was fishing for verification of the rumor they had heard about our fallout. He then gave an interview to that publication and they called me immediately after his interview to accord me a right of reply to the allegations before they went to print. I gave them my side of the story, and the Nairobian paper came out that weekend, carrying both his allegations and my rebuttal. Once again, because of his post on social media, I was in the trends again alongside him. I didn't respond to the social media buzz this time around, and the story died a natural death once a new trend came along. People on social media move on quickly if you don't give them more fodder. I had learnt about the art of silence, but I still learnt another important lesson. I should never have given the Nairobian paper my opinion in the first place. Sometimes you will trend because of other people and their silly actions. In those moments, silence is your best friend. The very last incident was during my fight with cancer. That season also put me on the trend maps as well. Shortly after my diagnosis and decision to fight, I detailed my battle with cancer and the consequent chemo sessions, and that gave me quite a following, causing my posts on Facebook to go viral several times. When I decided to go to India to ascertain if the cancer was coming back and received the good news that it wasn't, I posted about it, and the fake news outlets quickly grabbed and changed the narrative. They claimed that I had discovered that I didn't have cancer in India, and apparently I had never had it in the first place, suggesting I had gotten chemo for nothing and rubbishing our Kenyan medics in the process. That was a total fabrication. I was celebrating the onset of remission, and the Kenyan doctors had been spot on with the initial diagnosis and prognosis. I put out a post debunking the fake news, but again it didn't go as viral as the fake news. And soon I realized the masses have an insatiable appetite for what is scandalous, whether it be true or not. It's a wild problem, only beaten by a commitment to oneself not to take everything you read or see on social media as gospel truth. Which is my last lesson on the same. Use the social media sword well and sheath it when it calls for you to do so. However, regardless of what happens, always be your authentic self, whether you are reading the news or are the news. Always remember, social media is a double-edged sword.